Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Wilhelm Scream, and welcome back to the channel for more Destiny 2 news and intel. Lots of topics to discuss in today's video, and we have a pretty big reset tomorrow. So there's a lot of things you probably want to jump on Destiny 2 as soon as possible in order to pick up, because some of them will be leaving. As I said, tomorrow we will have a really big reset in the Festival of the Lost finally arriving. With it, a whole bunch of new cosmetics, a bunch free or available for 6,000 Bright Dust. Of course, there will be also a whole bunch of silver exclusives, but a lot of good stuff to collect this festival, as well as we should have exotic class items available to farm and unlock if you haven't done the Dual Destiny mission yet. So for those of you who didn't play Festival of the Lost last year, Festival of the Lost was the only activity or only event in which you could unlock exotic class items without actually doing the Dual Destiny mission. And once you unlock them, you were able to farm them from any source where exotic class items are available henceforth. So once you got them from the festival, you could then go to the Pale Heart, farm them from any of the chests there, or from Xur for strange coins, essentially doing the task that Dual Destiny normally requires you to do, which is complete it. Now, that's how it worked last year. I have heard that's how it's supposed to work this year. If it doesn't, I am very sad and I apologize for any false information. But so far as I know, exotic class items will be available to farm again from the Festival of the Lost. You'll also be able to upgrade exotics, much like you do at 801, for candy. We're also going to be getting a new 6-player activity. So I think all around, Festival of the Lost this year is going to be epic. At least one of the better ones that we've seen in quite a while. I think the one last year was actually also very good, and it's kind of crazy to think that it's already been a year since the last Festival of the Lost. But in today's video, we'll cover some of the stuff that will be disappearing tomorrow that you might want to pick up, as well as all the things that will be available for Bright Dust in the upcoming Festival of the Lost. And beyond just some new cosmetics for armor sets for the Titan, Warlock, and Hunter, some exclusives for this year. The Titans are going to be getting the Jason Voorhees outfit. There's going to be a whole bunch of other things that I've heard many people ask me about, some stuff that I own personally in the past, so we'll cover all of those things. But tomorrow, we will be losing the Mogul of Paint as well as the Sanguise shader. These are both available for silver all the time in a pack, I believe. This is a fully animated shader, and I always want to mention it before it disappears. This is a super cool one. The Mogul of Pain is also a cool one, though I don't believe it's really as animated. It's certainly a cool shader overall. It doesn't have the full animation that this one does. Also, down on our main Bright Dust page, if you didn't have a chance to pick up the Without Ceremony weapon ornament for the Icebreaker or any of these other cosmetics, make sure to get them before tomorrow. There's also some really cool shaders. This was another one that I thought was pretty sick looking. Most of these are available for silver at all times as part of different shader packs. This is one that I always really like, the Atlantic Rush. Everything looks pretty cool with this armor that I got on at the moment. Byzantine Gold also looking really cool. We had the Graviton ship available this week. We also had the Black Glitter gloves, and there'll be more from this set available also during Festival of the Lost. So make sure to pick up any of those. Also remember, if you haven't had a chance to play very much this week, head over to Commander Zavala. Make sure to pick up your new supply drop, which should bring you up to 300 power if you are below that, and if you are above that, it should give you a pretty big power bump on any one piece of armor. You can select all of them, of course, though I would suggest waiting until you're particularly low on one piece of armor. So it's just a easy way to min-max your gear by, in my case, I would probably go with something like my boots, which are only 506. That'll bring up the average, and then you can continually do that. But I would sort of tandem this with farming other activities in the portal, or just getting a little bit more power here and there, and then coming back and selecting maybe one piece at a time, or one weapon at a time, because they'll do the exact same thing. I could also probably do with an upgrade to my heavy ammo right at the moment, as my Dragon's Breath is a little low. Also remember we have 777,000, excuse me, 700 unstable cores. Lots of sevens there. 777,777. Had to say it right once. Unstable cores. Basically, unstable cores are going away in Renegade, so Bungie has done what they can to make them essentially irrelevant when it comes to upgrading, but remember to pick up those. We also have one enhancement core. Interesting. You can also use that same min-max trick, remember, over at Commander Zavala if you haven't picked up your weekly Vanguard Arms rewards. Remember, these reset every week, so if you don't pick them up this week, essentially you're losing a chance to get some power. These are associated with your weekly triumphs. You can also, if you do not complete any particular weekly triumph, you can buy these for Bright Dust at the beginning of every week now. So just remember to pick up that gear, get yourself some extra power before the end of the week. Over at Banshee 44, there was some unique weapons. Remember that these do rotate through the focused rewards, as well as some of the rolls on the weekly available loot. This Breachlight was really good with Slice and Hatchling on it. Can be enhanced. This is an amazing PvE weapon. I also really like this Chroma Rush. Even though it's an old vanilla weapon, it's actually really good for PvP. Focus Decoding, we have Suros and Hake weapons available today. Be on the lookout for the Vice weapons. I do always encourage everybody to pick up the Mikado 45. This can roll also with Slice and Hatchling and is one of my favorite heavy machine guns. Currently have one on my person at the moment. Never leave home without it. This one can be enhanced, so it's very, very good. Don't think that just because something isn't tiered, it's not good. Enhanced weapons are still worth a tier 3. An Adept Enhanced weapon is worth a tier 4, maybe even a tier 5 with the right rolls, in my opinion. But in any case, be on the lookout for the Viced Crate, because remember, Adagio on that particular weapon is also glitched and gives you a 30% damage buff without actually bringing down the rate of fire. So you still have a 720 RPM auto rifle with a 30% damage buff. It's pretty insane. All you have to do is get one kill with it, or it might just be do damage with it. But also, leaving us tomorrow, if you hadn't had a chance to pay a visit to Zur, he also has exotic class items, which you'll be able to pick up once you unlock them through the Festival of the Lost. It should be a fairly easy just quest in order to acquire one of these from Festival of the Lost, and that will, as I said, do the same task that doing the Dual Destiny mission would do. The only difference is you will not be able to focus the specific perks that you would get like you would if you're able to do Dual Destiny. Though I don't think that is really as prevalent now, because I think there's some sort of rework going on with exotic class items. It seems like I'm getting a lot of the same rolls. I don't know if that's the same across the board or if that's just me, but also remember we had the Rhymecoat Remnant, which is a new updated seasonal exotic. We also had the Star Eater Scale and the Icefall Mantle. These are all very, I think, still very meta exotics at the moment. And remember, you can still change the rolls on these particular pieces of armor if you change your exotic ghost shell mods. And I think that only affects the ones that have the blue label, so anything that's been updated for the season. We also had a bunch of interesting weapons this week. Pretty decent Hawkmoon for PvP. We had a Burden of Guilt, which was a Trials of Osiris weapon. Unfortunately not an Adept version, but a few in-depth versions as well. We had the Redrix S-Stock, which can be enhanced, and this one with Headseeker as well as Offhand Strike. This is an incredibly good PvP weapon, even though it's only the enhanced version. It's still really, really good. So make sure to pick that up if you don't have one. Some other good stuff as well. And like I said, most of this video we're going to cover the new stuff that will be available for Bright Dust, so free as well as silver for Festival of the Lost. So we're just going to quickly say hi to Archie. Remember to leave a hashtag Archie in the comment section down below for another entry into the next giveaway on this channel. For this video, we do one every 1,000 subscribers, so you never want to miss out. And when we reach 100,000 subscribers on the channel, we'll be giving away a new console or a video card if you play on PC. You can also leave a hashtag GoodBoyProtocol in the comment section. If that's better than Archie, I'll accept either or. Also, 801 had a few shaders. Remember to pick up any one of these if you didn't have them already. And remember, you can still do the focusing for the new exotics, for the new seasonal exotics, but you'll also be able to do something exactly the same for candy during the Festival of the Lost from Ava Levant. So you might want to save some of these if you haven't yet. But also a few decent shaders. War Cult Endgame shader. Haven't seen that one in a while. Sort of an interesting shader to have black in the title, as there's very little black actually in this one. And that's a very cool one. So now we're going to head over to one of my favorite websites that you might not be aware of, Today in Destiny. They used to do a lot more because they used to track all the weekly updates and activities and whatnot. Unfortunately, that's not the case anymore, but they still do track what will be coming for Bright Dust and for cosmetics, and in this case for Festival of the Lost. Before we leave, though, one last thing. If you are still playing any Trials of Osiris this week, be on the lookout. There's a pretty big glitch in the map currently for the Trials this week. You can essentially get out of the map very easily. It's been one of those things that has been there for a while, though I think people kind of forgot about it or thought it had gotten patched. But this particular Trials map, the name kind of escapes me at the moment. You can leave me the name of the Trials map currently in the comment section down below for another entry into the next giveaway for this video. But of course, it doesn't really matter because the glitch is still there. You can get out of the map simply by going through the first doorway next to the toaster room. And I think most people will know what I'm talking about. It's off of not the frost cave spawn, but the opposite spawn, sort of that desert spawn near where there's that room that has sort of the laser grid in it that is kind of a, hiding spot, but you can't go in there all the time. Right in there, right in the doorway of the very first opening, you can jump right up through the map. Saw a few things on it, figured I'd mention it. But now on to the Bright Dust. So as I said before, we are on todayindestiny.com. I'll leave a link to this website in the pinned comment down below. It's a great website, and they track all the things that will be available for Bright Dust at any given point, or for silver for that matter, or for both. And we'll get down into the festival stuff here, sort of down towards the bottom, as there's a few interesting things. We'll be getting, of course, older Festival of the Lost cosmetics, so things like the Mystic Light Beam Helm, if you're on a Warlock, or the Eerie armor set, which I talked about a lot last year. This is also going to be available, I believe. We'll also be able to get the Cryptic Magnus Helm. This is specifically, I guess, for the Warlock. You can actually check for any class. You can go back up to the top. There'll be a bunch of other stuff available as well. But I do encourage everybody to just go and check this out for themselves, because it is really a great site if you're trying to just save a little bit of cash, not spend so much silver, as I know a lot of these things do come up for silver first, and you have to wait a little while, but I think it's worth the wait in some regard. We have the Cade 6 mask, which will also be available for silver and Bright Dust during the festival. We'll have the Good Boy mask available as well. And I said we'll have those Jason masks, as well as there'll be a Slender Man mask and some other weird mask for the hunters. But that unfortunately is not shown here, just because those will be brand new. But I think most people have a sense of what they will look like. Those will be available for Bright Dust. They will not be a silver sold item. A thing of note, which I've gotten a lot of asks about in the past, that will be available for this Festival of the Lost, will be the extraterrestrial vehicle ship. And this is a really cool ship, in my opinion. One of the ones that I certainly use a lot. You can also check it out on LightGG, another great website. We're also going to be getting the Macabre ship, which is an old one for silver, unfortunately, only. We'll be getting the Wing Runner ship, available for silver and Bright Dust. We'll be getting this one, which has a interesting name. I'm not going to try to pronounce it, but this one will also be available for silver and Bright Dust. We'll also get the Retrograde Tour, available for silver and Bright Dust. We'll be getting this actual really cool Sparrow, available for silver and Bright Dust, as well as this one for silver and Bright Dust. The Phantom, as well as the Plushosaurus. Probably said it incorrectly. But again, I have this linked in the pinned comment down below. You can go and check it out. We'll also be getting some ghost shells available. But just a really cool bunch of stuff. I think they're actually going out of their way to make a lot of the older stuff available and giving us a fairly cool new armor set available just for Bright Dust as well. So, feeling much better than the Iron Banner event or the Ashen Iron event, where we really didn't get any of the new armor, and I think a lot of people were disappointed with that, but I don't think we will be for this particular event. So have fun with the website, check it out, save yourself a little bit of silver, spend a little bit more Bright Dust maybe, or know when to save up. And that's going to conclude all the information in today's video. Hopefully you found something in this video helpful. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell to post notifications so you never miss out on any future Destiny 2 content like this. You can also follow me on Instagram. It'll be linked in the description box down below. Remember, any of those things I just mentioned will also enter you into any future giveaways on this channel. We do one every 1,000 subscribers, so you never want to miss out. And when we reach 100,000 subscribers, we'll be giving away a new console or video card if you play on PC. If you've watched till this point in the video, you could leave any one of those hashtags that I mentioned before, or you could leave a hashtag Festival of the Lost in the comments section down below for another entry into the next giveaway for this video. And once more, I am Wilhelm Scream. Thanks so much for watching, as always, and of course, we will see you next time. Hopefully, we'll have some more information and updates tomorrow for the Festival of the Lost, but in any case, I hope you enjoy it. Thanks again. Little